kill the music.
Yeah, no shit.
Can you take me high enough?
Yeah, I can. Welcome back.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, Monty, welcome back.
Yeah. Thanks for showing up, Monty.
You hate us.
Not today.
Good deal.
We got a guest
Maybe
on.
tomorrow.
Let's talk about the guest instead of you. It's not all about you.
Oh, damn. That was quick right off the bat, Luigi.
So we got a guest on tonight, Matt Gore. Welcome to the table.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, appreciate you being here.
We do.
And Monty's back. You missed Benny.
I did. I hate that I missed Benny because Benny's such a good dude.
He is.
We captured it, though, so you
Yeah.
can listen.
Oh, yeah. Well, I can't wait to hear it, actually.
Yeah. We've just been poured up something.
Oh, what we got?
We got some.
Let
Got
Matt,
some,
Let's
go ahead. Let the guest speak.
yeah, you got some Jack Daniels Rye, more of their more approachable bottom shelf, but a great banana note there for $20. So can't go wrong. 90 proof, easy to drink.
Yeah.
Hope you
banana.
enjoy.
What do you mean banana note?
I see the banana. It tastes.
The yeast strain with Jack typically gives off the nose a banana note if you can. But I know it's allergy season too, so most of us probably won't pick up on that if we're
It's really
a
good.
A little stuffy.
It's really good.
It's good. $20, though?
$20, 20, 25.
You know, I never knew that, but I can smell it a little bit. I
Yeah, I
I
believe
did.
this yeast strain is a little bit different, or the yeast strain, but the mash bill. So for the rye, I think they're 70% corn, 18%. Not corn on the rye. It'd be 70% corn, 18 rye, 18% corn, and then 12% barley. If I'm correct.
That
I
make
could be
any
wrong.
sense to you, Cole?
Yeah. Yeah. You're going to see that 12% barley pretty standard, and that sounds right.
Yeah.
That barley's just there for enzymes.
Yeah.
It's really not there for anything else.
When you get into all the science and the nerd stuff of it, it does make a huge factor.
Yeah, let me push my
That's-
specs up.
That's cool.
The tannins and the phenols and the
Yeah.
lipids and all that stuff. Yeah.
That's pretty good for that price point.
Oh yeah, you can't go wrong.
So
Yes, approachable.
that's what we're drinking tonight.
So you're a whiskey guy, they say.
A little bit of one. Yeah.
He's a big whiskey guy.
He is a big guy anyway.
He is I'd say,
Just
swole.
Yeah.
no. I'm more mediocre now. I did get that as a indirect compliment or backhanded compliment. I'm a little soft now. I need to get back in the gym.
Yeah, that's what I get a lot.
Yeah, I get
So-
that a little bit myself.
Yeah, no big whiskeys because just a huge whiskey fan. So doesn't have anything to do with size.
Right.
Big whiskey fan.
Well, me and Matt go back a long way.
We do. Some good times in good old Marshall County.
We do. We graduated together.
Got a reunion coming up too.
Yeah, that's
if
what
you can make it.
That's what I heard. I'll try to make it. So, can you give a little background about yourself?
Okay.
Not
I mean, are you from Marshall?
yeah.
Yeah.
From Marshall. Haven't really left. Maybe in the near future. Ties to the whiskey industry, maybe.
Mhm.
Hopeful. But no, graduated with yourself there, 2002. Work at one of the chemical plants that is I don't know, famous or infamous in the area, the nuclear plant or a bomb plant out there in Paducah.
Mhm.
Liked the job, just not the traveling, a 45-minute drive one way.
Yeah.
But no, work 410s. It allows me to work in another industry there, selling whiskey on Fridays throughout the state of Kentucky. And
410s is good.
That's the best.
410s is
I envy
great.
410s.
Yeah.
Monty
410s
loves
is great.
410s, don't you, Monty?
I do love 410s.
Yeah.
And I
You
don't have
wear
it anymore.
410s? Oh, I was about to say, wait.
When I was a GM of a company, we worked 410s.
Yeah.
I'd love
And
to
then-
wear 410s.
I
We got
believe-
bought out.
I believe more industries need to do that.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, I've always said it's I think a swing shift is the worst
It is.
for a person, and I've harped on it for years that 8 hours of work, 8 hours of recreation, family, and 8 hours of sleep. And the swing shift, the 12-hour shift is terrible on a person because, especially if you got to drive an hour.
Yeah.
So you get off, even if you got to drive 30 minutes, because I worked swing and 12-hour shifts for a while. And if you have a family or even if you're single, you drive 30 minutes and you pretty much only have 2 hours if you do the math to yourself.
Eat, or shit, and sleep.
Yeah.
That's
Can confirm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I think it's terrible, and I will never agree with it. And I think I really don't think that you're going to get more than 5 hours of work out of a person, productive work, no matter if it's 12 hours or 8 hours.
Yeah.
And, well, I said
they better work more than that for me.
2 hours is enough to make the best beer in Western Kentucky.
Yeah, that's right. Well, Monty's the bourbon whiskey expert.
No,
at the table. I think you drink
out
it
of
more
the three of us.
Out of the three of us.
Yeah.
So,
and the funny thing is, I don't drink a lot of it. I have quite a bit of it.
Yeah,
but maybe once or twice a week, I'll pour a small pour.
Yeah,
and just chill out with just a little bit pour, just because I'm really careful with it.
Neat or on the rocks?
Yeah, it's the same
normally
thing.
Neat. Every once in a while, I used to drink it either on the rocks or with a little water.
Yeah.
To try to get into getting the flavor of it.
A little long branch.
It does open up a little bit when you add water or ice, but I've already broke through that wall, the ethanol wall, and I just prefer to drink them this way, especially a 90 proof. Some of them, you do need to add a little water, bring out the character in it.
So you're definitely a Jack Daniels fan.
Oh yeah.
Can you give us some Jack Daniels insight? The best Jack Daniels. What do you like, or what do you have, or you've been there? I'm sure 1,000 times. Give us some history or some.
As far as whiskey, period, though, we do whiskey heads or fans get asked that a lot. You know, what's the best? What should I go for? What do you recommend? Everybody's palate's different. You guys being in the beer and the brewing, you know that. And mood. There's different factors. You may be all about that pour today, but you have a bad day or you're really stressed out, or depending on seasonal allergies or what you had to eat, that's going to play a difference. It may not taste the same when you go back to it. It's the same thing with whiskey. What I typically go for with Jack, to make a long story short, is they're very consistent. You get the charcoal mellowing, and that keeps it there. That's a huge factor with Jack Daniels. It doesn't really vary. Now, you vary when you get into different areas of their property at the distillery and different areas or levels in the rick house, but consistent. I mean, you know what you're getting. It's a great product. And, I mean, they've been number one for a while, and that's not just here in the U.S. That's a worldwide brand,
Yeah. I mean, growing up, you got Jack Daniels and you drink it like you were trying to die in a cornfield, but, old number 7, right?
Yeah, and it gets a lot of hate because that's how most people drink it. But they have so many better offerings now, and they're really expanding their horizons and have been for the last, I want to say, 10 to 15 years. And somebody from a small town like us, Marshall County, I'm already at like my upper echelon and meeting celebrities in the whiskey world. And I'm happy to say that, I consider Jeff Arnett a friend of mine now. I can text him, DM him on Instagram,
that's wild.
Hang out with him. And he has really done a number for Jack Daniels. He started his own company now, but for doing things and putting more out there for JD, pushing the envelope with Brown Foreman to get them to do it.
Right.
They've got way more offerings than which is why they have a rye now too.
Yeah.
Than just your old number 7.
Yeah.
And just maybe a typical, single barrel or something like that. But
I like rye bourbon and rye whiskey. I told you I like the Bullet rye.
I like it a lot too.
Yeah.
Well, I like Bullet in general.
Yeah.
But it's funny because my dad was always a Jack Daniels Old Number 7
Mhm.
whiskey drinker.
Yeah.
Now, he had a problem with it, but I remember tasting of that from a fairly young age.
Yeah.
And I always liked it. That's why I'm real careful with it. I like Jack Daniels, but I'm very little bites at a time. But
Yeah, you hear that especially when you get a collection like what I've got going on in the whiskey industry. You hear all kinds of backhanded compliments or just negativity.
Mhm.
And one of those is, like myself, you just kind of brush it off. But they must, they got a problem. Look at all the money they're spending on that. But it's like if I had that collection,
Mhm.
then obviously I don't have a issue. And the other one
Exactly.
is, I have a government job. I
Yeah.
have to have an L clearance. So obviously I don't. But
no, I certainly wasn't saying it. Like,
no,
he didn't keep a collection.
well, that's what I'm saying. Even with that, though, most people will still insinuate that,
Yeah.
you have that issue because you have so much. It's like, no, not all my money goes to that. Actually, a lot of my collection, that's the interesting thing about Instagram and being the quote unquote influencer or any of that nowadays, is a lot of that is free.
You bet.
They send it to my door, ask for a review, or just tell me to enjoy it because I've plugged them in a podcast or on Instagram. Just, hey, I come across this. And they're like, I come home and there's boxes and boxes of free whiskey.
That's awesome.
And that sucks. That sucks.
That's
Not-
just horrible.
So you don't restrict yourself to just bourbon.
No.
I
no.
don't even think you've said the word bourbon yet.
Yeah, no, whiskey in general. And I do get a little bit of shit for that. Being in Kentucky, that's the best bourbon. That's the only place bourbon comes from. It's like, no, you're dead
It's not.
wrong. But whiskey in general, it's a great spirit. We all drink, but you got to find your own little niche and what you like. And whiskey's mine.
Yeah.
I like beer, but for like health reasons and all that, the benefits of whiskey compared to beer and the flavor profiles, just more my thing.
Yeah.
That's-
Yeah,
Oh,
for
yeah.
sure. A beer has a lot of calories in it.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, I'm looking at your.
Damn, someone could send that card to my front door. I wouldn't be mad.
Yeah, I'm looking at your Instagram right now, and yeah, you got quite a few bottles.
Yeah.
If you want to highlight one, talk about it.
The most recently sought after that everybody wants is that JD right there. With
Right here?
a reddish orange
Right
label.
That single barrel.
Oh yeah, that Coy Hill there. That's a hot commodity right now. That's a hard one to get a hold of.
And you got one.
I got two, but
Oh.
usually if I have one like that I come across, I won't crack one open until I get a backup.
So you do crack them open though.
Oh yeah, they're all made for drinking.
That's it.
Probably one of the most highly sought after for myself would be that when Jeff Arnett, I mentioned him earlier, when he left Jack Daniels, Brown Foreman gifted him his own barrel. Anywhere he wanted to pick it
Mm-hmm.
on the property.
Mhm.
This man is the master distiller for 13 plus years or 12 plus years,
Mm-hmm.
20 something years at JD or more.
Yeah.
And he got to pick like a honey hole, what we call a honey hole barrel. He knew what was one of the better barrels.
Right.
And I was lucky enough to get two of those bottles.
Oh,
Oh, wow.
So
you know what two means? One's cracked open.
one's cracked open. That is correct. So the first one, he told me, as long as you share it, that's all I want you to do. And I did. I kept my word. And lo and behold, it wasn't 3 or 4 months later, I ran into him again. And he had gifted me another one. I was like, you don't have to do that. But I knew right then and there, I was like, this one's not getting cracked open. If it does, it'll be like on my deathbed or a very special occasion. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just, it's,
Yeah,
that one's,
for sure.
That's cool. Because his name's right there on the side of that bottle.
yes. On that one, probably not on the Coy Hill. I haven't paid too much attention to it. The Coy Hill probably has the new master distiller, Chris Fletcher. And Chris has family ties to JD. Jeff is probably the only master distiller that came out of JD that doesn't have family ties to the distillery. But great man. I mean, very
Well, that tells how
humble.
good he is, truthfully. If
Oh,
he
yeah.
doesn't have family
Yeah.
ties.
291. That's you, right?
291 is the brand that I rep through the state of Kentucky. Well, I say rep. It's repped. I kind of took a little break from them for a little while. Too much going on right now, but I'll probably get back into it. And they are a funky, unique, rugged, refined, rebellious whiskey out of Colorado, and they win awards. And they're not for everybody. I understand that, but look at that color on that thing.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
It is.
Looks like a red wine.
Colorado bourbon.
And it's
whiskey.
out of Colorado.
Yeah, you get that a lot too. I get told in Kentucky, you can't sell bourbon from. Yeah, you can. Actually, bourbon is an American product.
The guideline, really.
Yes, yeah.
You can do that anywhere.
So like your tequila, you have guidelines for it too. But with bourbon itself, yeah, that's our American spirit. So
I did not know that actually until I took a trip to Colorado. I always thought it was Kentucky only for years. And then I think it was Breckenridge.
Breckenridge. You say that a lot.
Breckenridge, Kentucky?
They have a distiller,
They
and that's a bourbon.
Yeah, they have a talking to you guys earlier about it. The stout beer finish, or if you do any of those for a whiskey finish, I highly recommend them. And Breckenridge does one with a stout. So, and $2.91 as far as like a back set when people get into whiskey. You guys being beer heads, we actually use a back set of like an IPA. That's
really
locally. So they did have that on the books, and they may, smack the back of my hand for that. But they did tell a lot of people when it was published already, and then they kind of retracted. But it is out there as info that can be.
Well, when 100,000 people find out from this podcast, that'd be good problems to have.
It's already out there. Google splurged on that, I guess. So
what else we got on here? Give your Instagram handle there.
Okay, so anybody that wants to follow or look at the collection there, it's mostly whiskey bottles, is big_whiskey with an E. But you have to have that underscore. You're going to get some other poser. Yeah, they're not me. So there's a video there if you want to click on the one with my little girl.
Right here?
Yeah, I do a little dancing gig in this one.
Oh, wow.
We'll watch it. Hold on.
Now I got a bear head, but that is me. See, I just dabbed. I'm up with the moves for a dad.
Oh, wow.
And I cut a rug right there. Yeah, get low.
You should do the splits.
No, not the splits. I wouldn't have got back up. No.
I like it.
Yeah. I think that's when TikTok was actually named Musically.
Oh,
So they went through a transformation.
I didn't know that.
So take us back. First toe dip into the whiskey pool.
Probably, I mean, it's been a while, but I'm going to say 15, 16 years old. The parent,
The ripe legal age.
yeah, the parents, they, of course I had a cousin that was older, already getting into some of this stuff, but better to know what you're doing and be kind of a part of it than just let you run around and lie to them about it. So
Exactly.
mother used to work at the cottages down there at Kentucky Dam. So we would rent the cottages, and we would always have friends, and there was alcohol involved. But long story short with that, I learned that beer was quite not my thing. Vodka really wasn't. Some rum, but whiskey. And whiskey is just like, oh, okay. And it's always stuck there. I did get back into beer, but it took till I was like 24, 25 to even acquire a taste for beer. But then you still had your Coors, your Bud Light. There was none of the craft brewing out yet. So
Sam Adams was like the first thing that even resembled craft.
Or you get to a dark beer, which I love now if I do drink beer. But like a Guinness, there's no way I would have touched that back then. It's just like, hell no.
Yeah.
I was the same way. Would not have touched Guinness at all.
So how did you go from kind of learning what you like at the cabin to kind of where you are now? How did
COVID, you got to take the silver lining out of anything that life gives us now. And COVID opened up a lot of doors for most people. So you're sitting at home, you have a passion, Instagram, and you get to meet a whole lot of new, interesting people that share the same hobby or likes that you do or interest. And there's another brand I rep right there, Broken Barre. You pull that one up. They're out of, they sourced one of their flagship line from Owensboro, Kentucky. and then they get a few others from across the states. But
So who does it at Owensboro? Do you know?
Green River, they've changed their name a few times. It was like OZ Tyler.
Okay, because I did a little work for them back in the day in my machine shop
Yeah, they just change the names or whoever buys them out or whatever, every so many years.
which was kind of it was pretty cool how they did their aging process.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that one didn't really hit off or take off too much because that's getting into where you can't replicate Mother Nature.
Right.
You just can't. And patience is something that you have to have when it comes to whiskey.
And they tried.
They did. And other people have tried and they're still trying too.
Mm-hmm.
But you can taste the youth on whiskey when you try to do that.
You bet.
I'm not saying that you can't make a good tasting whiskey, but you can't replicate Mother Nature.
So what are you saying? Did they try to?
So they made it. There was I guess an older distillery there. They ended up bringing it back up. They rebuilt the whole place, and what they ended up doing was they were taking pretty much wood that they had charcoal burnt, white oak, I'm sure, and then they put it in cubes per se, and then they had some kind of process to try to oxygenate it.
TerraPure, from what I know, I think that's the whole gist of it, but the vibrating.
So they tried to take some surface area, break it down, get more surface area, and sonicate it to force the age.
What you're getting this color from.
So Cole knows what we're talking about for sure.
Yeah, it helps out
better than me.
Background. And so in a nutshell, let's speed that up. That's what they were trying to do. You get the surface area going in and out of that oak. That's where you're getting your colors, your flavors. You brought up the tannins and all that earlier. That's where that's coming from, is the in and out, that reaction or interaction with the wood.
So what's it taste like whenever it's been kind of fast tracked like that?
Youthful.
Yeah.
You can tell. I'm not saying that it's not good.
Like you can taste a beer when it's green.
Yeah, it's
so
green.
It's the same sort of thing.
Yeah, green would be a good word for it. But I'm sure if they tried to go a little bit longer with it, there are other factors that that play too. Another one being like a craft distillery, 291, or a micro, smaller. They don't age in 53 gallon. So 53 by volume is another factor. So people look at 291. You saw the color in the pictures. That's only 18 to 24, 25 months, somewhere in there, roughly 2 years to a year and a half. Bourbon, most of the time, to get that color is no less than 5 years in a 53 gallon.
5?
No, I don't really know the age on that one. But 291, they actually age in a 10 gallon. So your volume plays a factor because you have less surface area. So it's in and out more too. But at the same time, you can't get as much out of a barrel.
Yeah.
You're only going to yield maybe 90 bottles out of a 10 gallon, if that, versus like a 53 gallon. After you get the Angel's Share and it's set in there for a while, you may get 250 bottles. That's not been aged. You get something like a Pappy Van Winkle 23, you're not getting that. I mean, you're going to get so little, it's not even funny.
I've had conversations with people who may or may not do a little home dabbling, and conversation of the barrels with the whatever you call them, but it's basically there's like wooden rivets or something in it to add more surface area to kind of fast track that. And I've been in at least 3 conversations about that where the question is, can you tell? Is it different, or is it the same thing, or?
All of that it does. It all plays a big factor. It's just whether you master it or not.
Yeah.
Jack Daniels, they even experimented. They did one with Sinatra. So what they did is they took those barrels, the 53 gallons, but then they grooved them. So they got that charred oak, but then they've cut into, so then you've got new oak. Yeah. So you've got new oak with the charred oak, but you got so little.
Uncharred grooves?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's because you're scraping that surface of the charred. And it plays a difference in the taste. And you wouldn't think, just a subtle difference, but it does. It's a big factor. There's so many things like that, but getting back to like the TerraPure and then trying to do, you can't. I'm a big believer that you cannot replicate Mother Nature. You just better have patience.
You bet.
Don't rush a great thing.
I see some people having fun here.
Yeah, that was my first time in Colorado at the distillery, 291. They had their 10-year anniversary there. And in that picture, I'm laughing because there was a cocktail made, the Whiskey Rita, which Michael Myers, the creator of the brand, he had trademarked that with his brand. Nobody has taken that yet. Out of all the years Whiskey Rita could have been taken, that is now a 291 thing.
Oh, wow.
So he made it, and when he made it, he was like, "Here, somebody try." Typically, I don't do cocktails. I mean, I can. I've got my favorite, the old fashioned, but typically I'm drinking neat.
Yeah.
And he passed it. He said, "Here, somebody try it." Well, I was right there, so I just grabbed it. Of course, the girl to the side, she was like, "Not girls first." Oh, hell no.
Caution, gun show.
Gun show.
Yeah, gun show.
Colorado's all about their patents.
There's a difference when you work out and then you get soft. So I'm soft now, and I was working out then.
Yeah,
so
she asked you want a couple more pigs?
No, but everybody out there, that's that still right there was the first one. So you can kind of tell the etchings in there, or that it doesn't look very smooth. So Michael, he's a creator of the brand. He has a background in photography. Those are photo gravure plates that he had welded together. And they're still like his old photos from back in the day. This dude used to take pictures of people like Angelina Jolie, the Olsen twins, pictures in Vogue or Vanity Fair. I mean, he was legit. But 9/11 happened, and he pursued another passion, and that ended up being whiskey. So,
I say it looks like like the what is it? The old style, like in the intro of Shrek, and it's like an old English sort of like storybook with it looks like a Lord of the Rings sort of.
No, it's really cool to actually see that in person, and the fact that they still use it. So he got a quote from, I think, Vendome or somebody back in the day. Of course, those are not cheap. I think they quoted him like $50,000. He's like, "No, my wife would kill me."
Yeah.
Or his wife at the time. So he took the money, what little money that he had to invest into it, and then the photogravure plates, had them weld those together and came up with that, and then started doing it and did it all on his own for years, and grew the brand all by himself. So
that's cool.
Yeah, little signature there. Now that was a special bottle too. That was their 10-year anniversary. It was a 7-year or a 291. And as I mentioned earlier, 291 ages in a 10-gallon, but that one they actually aged in a 53-gallon for 7 years.
That's the first time I've seen someone do a J like my dad.
Well, that bottle right there, I wish I had enough to share with everybody. I do have a little left, but that was like 147 proof. So
wow.
What the hell?
Wow.
Yeah, that's a special bottle.
Everyone gets
and it's damn good. Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah, I think they had 150 that they sold. They kept 8 for the distillery.
It's funny you mentioned, a different taste, just in different moods even.
Yeah.
Because I like Woodford quite a bit on certain days. Some days I can pick it up and be like, I don't know even why I'm drinking this today. And I've always wondered, until you really put that into context, I've always thought, man, is that just me like not liking whiskey at some days? And
could be a number of things.
Yeah.
And that's probably one of them. But it's the same thing with beer or food.
Right.
And the other hard thing is hard to tell with people is COVID. Hell, you might have COVID. Your taste buds are probably all screwed up.
Too soon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now it messed him up. It didn't, like, my taste never went away.
The guy that makes beer couldn't taste for 2 months.
Yeah.
That sucks. Yeah. Especially when you like beer or whiskey. Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, all that it does play a factor.
In the spirit of the Life Chaser theme, so like, what's some lessons and shit you've learned along the way here? So I mean, this is kind of like its own world, its own community, with its own criticisms and high points. What's something you've kind of garnered out of all this?
Really, the world's all the same. You're gonna have haters. You're gonna have backstabbers. You're gonna have true friends. No matter what part of it, you're gonna experience the same thing in all of it.
Goes back to that circle.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just part of it.
Yeah. Pick a circle.
Yep, you do.
Keep it small.
Keep it small.
But
Don't don't give a shit what anybody else thinks.
Fuck other people's feelings.
That's
There you
right.
go. So
What I always say.
Yeah, me too. You get called an asshole quite a bit, but again, fuck your feeling. I don't care.
I'd
That's
say
your opinion. And
It's funny where you'll learn that lesson because we've talked about that sort of thing in a totally different context, and here you are. It's like a bourbon world, whiskey world, and it's the same sort of thing that applies to something we were talking about, like in a damn apocalypse situation. Just a make or break scenario. You want your circle, but it applies to something as simple as whiskey.
yeah, no, and the whiskey community overall, it's great, but you still have the low ends where people are like, they're throwing shade.
There's a bell curve everywhere.
Yeah. Or they don't like what you're doing, or they don't like what you said. Of course, that comes with, today's era as well.
True.
So, but that's just the mentality, it's just a big vicious cycle.
I think if you figure that early in life, that you care what your circle thinks and their accountability to your life. But everything outside of that, if you listen to everybody else, you're going to be miserable.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to be miserable.
Well, there's some days you don't even want to listen to your circle.
Some days.
I mean, we all know that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
at the end of the day, you're your person.
That's
At the end of the day, your smallest circle is you.
No, true. Stay true to yourself.
Yeah.
Like a bullseye.
Yeah.
Works in.
It seems like the whiskey community is pretty tight too, like the beer community.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Like, we mentioned earlier, we got the high school reunion. That's a vicious cycle. And you get back into it too. So it's like, do you want to go? Do you not want to go? I haven't been to any of them.
I'm not going. I'm just, you brought it up, but I'm going to tell you I'm not going.
Well, it's just kind of like, do I really want to go?
I will go at like the 60-year reunion, 50-year reunion, just to see who's still alive and outlived. And
I guarantee you and me are, if you still drink this, because this right here is a life extender.
Yeah.
I'm a true
You'll
believer
be there with
in
your
that.
yearbook that you got from the dump, crossing them off.
My grandma does. She pulled out her yearbook one time I was over there and she said, they're dead. They're dead. Well, she died.
Yeah, that's how it works.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going.
Life extender, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I said earlier, I kind of dabbled in that. Too much of a good thing can be bad.
Oh, no doubt.
But in moderation.
We've talked about that.
Yes. Yeah. In moderation, whiskey is a great spirit to have. So,
I got a spirit every time I drink it.
Well, I'm actually a firm believer that because of COVID. Now, if I've caught COVID, I never knew it, but I've never lost any taste buds. If I did, I never felt any symptoms. But what do I do other than what most people do or don't do? Well, I did the working out and then I quit working out. So I can't say yay or nay on that. But the one thing I've actually stayed consistent with is drinking whiskey. It may be one pour a night or every third night or whenever, but that's the one thing that I know that I do. And then you listen to some of these old farts, like whether they're in England or Irish, they're Irish and they're over there in Ireland. What do? What's the secret to, your longevity? I take a shot of whiskey or some hard liquor.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there you go. That's why you got benefactors in that.
But you're not getting, just drunk off of it.
You're not abusing it. You're not abusing it. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're doing it in moderation.
Right.
And
last night I had a pour and it lasted an hour and a half.
There you go. Great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sat outside for an hour and a half and got about to go in. I was like, damn, I'm still not done.
That's why he was naked in the hot tub.
That's where I was naked.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No drones, ladies. He needs his privacy.
Shoot a drone if it's flying over me.
Now, this one being a $20, $25 bottle, it doesn't. But in the whiskey world, you want something. If you pour a 2-finger pour, you want a long finish so that you can drink on it for an hour, hour and a half.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Well, that's about like Basil Hayden for me because it's
for you on the Basil Hayden. I can't get that out of Basil. It's 80 proof. So
yeah, but it's not it tastes good to me and it's not very expensive.
No, it's not. Yeah, it's
not hot either. That's why you like it.
Yeah.
And that's why he's used to something a little higher.
Yeah. When I mentioned earlier that you whiskey heads out there, when you break through that wall, you broke through that ethanol wall. So the high proof is that's what you want because it's just like you keep getting used to higher and higher proof. So eventually you got to reset. So you got to take a break. So it's like, let me take a hiatus for a little while. Let me take about a month off and dabble back into it.
You had Long Branch?
I have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what I was having last night.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And I remember watching a little video about it when it came out because it's McConaughey's.
Yeah.
With Wild Turkey, their little collab. And I remember him saying it's meant to not be drinking with anything. It's meant to be drank neat. Dropped an ice cube in it.
You can drink it however you want.
But it was, see, I've done the basil with an ice cube. And basil's one that, like Buffalo, I can drink that one as it is.
Yes.
I like that. It's got a good sweetness to it. Long Branch, beautiful as it is. Basil, I kind of feel like I need a little ginger ale with it.
Yeah, I think maybe I just haven't broke through that wall because I went to Jim Beam one time, and I think it was Jim Beam, and they had Booker's.
Yeah.
And
Booker's higher end as far as your ethanol content.
I swear my right eye like pulled up, because it was so much.
You're on average. I mean, you're probably around 126 proof for a Booker's.
Yeah. Maybe I didn't know that you could break through that wall where you could, you just taste it off the bat and it's like, that is hot.
Do you think Angel's Envy has a sweetness to it?
Some of theirs, they do. Their rye is actually, for a rye, a lot of just like this one right here. Yeah. Everybody wants to really base off of like an MGP sourced rye where they're very spicy. And then they'll tell you, I don't like rye whiskey because the ones that I've had, well, it's 90% of the market roughly is a spicy rye. They're not all that way. And Angel's Envy, they tend to be a little bit softer. Jack Daniels, softer. They're out there. It's just, you can't go off the hype. You got to find out what you like. That's why I just never really recommend anything. I can give certain notes and, hey, if you like caramel, or if you like banana, or if you like honey, there are certain ones that are cinnamon. If you like cinnamon,
what do you drink if you like gas?
Gas, drink you a light whiskey that's probably 150 to 159 proof. There you go. A light whiskey like that, because light is nothing about it.
Well, I always wondered, God bless his soul, Paul Hafer.
Yeah.
He passed not too long ago. And
another Squire.
He was. Yeah. And he always drank, he liked the higher, I guess.
High proof stuff.
Yeah. And he bought me a couple of shots at Christmas parties and stuff, and not shots, just drinks. And I'm like, I can't. He's like, oh, this is good. Like Whaler or something, or
Weller's.
Oh, yeah. And yeah.
Yeah.
But I didn't know you could break through the wall.
But
yeah, good dude. He had a lot of bottles too.
He did. No, I love talking to Mr. Hafer there at the Bourbon Society meetings that we had in Paducah. He was a member of that. And of course, the whole time that I worked, the short time that I worked at Estron, never knew any of that. And I ran into him and a couple other guys or couples that work at Estron, and like, damn, it's a small world.
Yeah.
But Mr. Hafer was a Tennessee Squire like myself.
Yeah, he was. He was.
Yeah.
He was
like Kentucky Colonel.
Yeah. It's a legit thing.
I don't have any clue what
You're
Squire
a Colonel,
means.
right?
I'm a Kentucky Colonel. Yes.
What's the Squire mean?
It's just like your true allegiance to a brand. You're not knocking the brand, but you're true to the brand. You get nominated by certain people. It's kind of like you got grandfathered into something that's legendary, and it's a small world, but it's something to be proud of if you are, lucky enough to be called one. So,
absolutely.
to any of the listeners or viewers that want to try a Kentucky or local tequila per se, MB Rollin', they do phenomenal. They have both down there. I'm not much into the tequila world, but they have an Añejo and they have a Kentucky Azul. If you haven't tried them, you need to. They're very affordable and they are stellar in my opinion. As far as whether you sip it or you just shoot it back for cocktails or whatnot, the Kentucky Azul is the first one that I had, and I believe it was like 120 proof. Phenomenal, in my opinion, for something, coming from a whiskey and bourbon drinker for a tequila. I loved it, and I didn't know that either. Your clear tequilas that I thought, oh yeah, back in the day, I love that Patron Silver. That is a shooter. But your darker that have color are what you, like a whiskey, you would sip on, you would enjoy, you would pull the flavors from. I did not know that for the longest time. And
they've got a darker one.
Yes.
So
yeah, the Añejo.
Yeah.
Bendejo?
I learned this from a bartender at Hell's Kitchen in Las Vegas.
Okay.
He taught me. I don't even remember what I was drinking at the time, and he's like, "Have you tried tequilas?" And I'm like, "Yeah," and drinks on occasion,
Yeah.
in a margarita. And he's like, "No, just to sip on, to drink." And I was like,
Nope.
"Not at all, man." And he's like, "Well, try this and try this," and the bar tab was extremely high by the time we got out of there, but he taught me a lot about tequila and how good it can be.
Yeah. Now there's a guy at one of our local bars here, the Foxbriar. His name's Matt. Matt is into all kinds of spirits, and he can do the same thing for rum. He has turned me on to a lot of rums they're very good, especially I can't imagine anybody not being a chocolate fan. But once it tastes like chocolate or have a chocolate note on the palate too, I mean, just like knock your socks off. But,
Really?
yeah. So if you want a good cocktail or good rum, something outside of whiskey, the Foxbriar in Paducah.
Yeah, I've
If you
been
just
there.
want
That's
good whiskey,
no
Yeah.
joke.
Barrel and Bond.
For sure. Barrel and Bond.
I had a guy from work give me a little tiny glass jar sample of some of the darkest tequila I've ever seen in my life, and it was good. He said, "Don't mix it. You might not like it. It's fine. You can pour it out if you don't like it, but sip on it. See what you think." And I drank it all. It was good.
Yeah.
I like tequila as it is, and I always prefer the gold. I've never been a silver tequila guy. Not that I can't, like you said, shoot it.
Yeah. It's a spirit that's kind of too dry for me. Like gin. I've had some good gin as well.
Yeah, I've
Man,
never gotten into the gin.
It's not my forte. It's not what I'm gonna
Juniper
actually.
berries? Is that what that is?
Yeah, I'm not gonna reach for it, but if you give me a free shot of it, or sample.
What's the Pop Tart?
Pop Tart is a knockoff. That is actually photoshopped. That's a Jack Daniels flavored Pop Tart.
Oh,
Cole was thinking breakfast.
Yeah, like your Lay's potato chips and Oreos. They have all these different, like the Tide Pod flavor, and when that was going around, that's a JD flavor. There you go.
I like that.
Yeah, you're fuck off. There you go.
you can see the permanent marker.
There's a
too.
Buffalo
It's
Trace.
Buffalo Trace. You gotta.
Bison Trace.
What do you think of Buffalo?
I like Buffalo. Buffalo is a good, very good bourbon. Definitely a great brand. They're probably the most sought after or hyped whiskey brand.
It'd be cool if Joe Rogan would stop talking about them because they've gone up in price since he started talking about them.
It was kind of like an inside joke, like, hey, everything but Benchmark is allocated with Buffalo Trace. Then Benchmark was like, hey, no, fuck y'all. We're going to go ahead and we're going to do a one-off limited edition series of like 5 different Benchmarks. So now everything at one point in time for Buffalo Trace was allocated.
Really?
Well, I went to a liquor store 2 months ago. I hit cellar door in Draffenville. I hit the window. I was like, bottle of Buffalo. Supposed to be coming in tomorrow. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, that's so wild because you could have, used to, you could just go in, grab a bottle.
And
No
that's,
problem.
that's
My
like
big
our
thing now.
podcast.
Stop
bourbon.
talking about it, Joe.
Yeah.
My big thing now is the E.H. Taylors. You could get them for a small batch.
Well, I saw that on here. Yeah.
$45 2 years ago. We had them on the shelf like nobody would grab them. And now, if you find them, they hold them in the back or in a glass case. And they're like, oh, we want $90. No, fuck you. That's a $45 bottle. I ain't paying that for it. Oh, but it's a special one. Do you know anything about it? Yeah, like Blanton's. It's overrated. So, not that it's not good, but
We were talking about
not for
that
me.
on the way over. It's like, it doesn't matter the price.
No.
It doesn't matter the price.
Definitely not.
No.
I've got a bottle of Blanton's, but I've got a good buddy he's drank it forever before it went sky high.
Yeah. Got very popular and
Go back up, Chase.
Yeah.
overhyped.
What was that? Is that
And-
South Park? No, what is that?
So I got
Is
used
that the
to
metaverse?
when I saw it, I would just buy him.
Are
a
you
bottle.
in the metaverse?
That is, what do they call that? So Fred Minnick is a big guy in the whiskey industry, and he had started a thing because of COVID to where people can't get together. So the whole thing with concerts being canceled and all this, he did an online thing. It's called Deggy World. So you do your own little avatar, and you can kind of do a meet and greet. Of course, you had to pay for the tickets and all that too.
Yeah.
That's kind of the only.
Kind of looks like the metaverse.
It looks like
yeah,
it.
but see, it's like, oh yeah, Big Whiskey Matt Gore with Tyler Boone and Fred Minnick, and we're just all talking, but it's just like it's just our avatars.
Wow.
So yeah, it's like
What does that say? 2020, December 5th?
Yeah, make the best of it, I guess.
2 days after my birthday?
Nobody.
Did you talk with Mike's or did you have to type?
Whatever you had, like on my laptop, it was just whatever come factory. I didn't have anything like this set up right here. So
Mike. Yeah.
Well, that was.
But Mike.
Yeah.
That was a crazy time.
But yeah, you tried to make the best of it, do little meet and greets. You didn't really.
You look like you're about to throw down.
I know, it does.
What's a bar fight look like in the metaverse?
Like that.
Right there.
I'm going to snip your fucking power cable, you square.
No, just
He's like,
trying to support your circle.
yes,
So, there you
for
go.
sure.
But yeah, there are some really good bottles all through there.
there's a H. Taylor right there.
There's an NB
Right here.
Rolling moonshine, 150 proof moonshine right there.
Right here?
Yeah. That's a good moonshine if you want to do something.
You know,
else.
that's something that we all grew. Well, probably me and you
Yeah.
and Monty. I don't know about Cole. Moonshine before, and I don't like it.
I'm not a big
that
fan.
one does not drink like a 150. Now it is moonshine, but if you put it with anything as far as like back in the day, what you're getting at, like our hooch,
Yeah.
or that would be a good one right there. And I think that's like a $45, $50 bottle. NB Rolling all day, every day.
And it tastes the same every time because it's out of a
Yeah.
good distiller.
Yep. And that's a good thing about them. They do not care about, hey, come look at me. No, they want to be like, no, we're kind of secretive, hush, hush. You know about us. If you don't, we don't care.
As long as our product's going out the door,
It's
that's
selling.
all we care.
That's all they care about. So,
Well, you got a few. You got some ties for sure to Bardstown. So tell us a little about Bardstown and where you like to go there for the listeners that travel up there.
yeah, back to Silver Linings. So the girlfriend moved back. I got her from Louisville and then moved to Paducah. We sold the house and then she got a big pay raise and moved back to the Louisville area. So now she's in Bardstown. And so when I go to visit, she is no more than a stone throw away from like Four Roses, Heaven Hill, Lux Row, Old Barton. I
Mhm.
mean, I'm in the heart of bourbon country.
I love it when a
And-
plan comes together.
Oh, yeah. So it's a win-win for me for sure. So, and maybe in like 2 years, I do plan to leave the area, leave good old Marshall County, and maybe my ties with the whiskey industry and with her out there and friends in the whiskey world, I can land a good job or career.
What do you think of Weller? What do you think of
There you go. Look at that, guys. We got a whole case of what we're drinking now.
There it is.
There it is.
In the flesh.
Yeah, we bought that when COVID first hit, or around about COVID first hitting, and we figured that would last at least a year, and it probably lasted 3 months. So,
You got a pretty good whiskey cabinet there.
yeah, you can't tell in that one. And then I had to buy another bar shelf without giving what I've given away to bars and stuff that I do not like. Local bars here in the area, I probably still to this day have 400 to 500 bottles somewhere at any given time. But like I said earlier in the podcast, a lot of these are gifted to me. I'll show up and then somebody has just sent me something and it's sitting on my doorstep. So
You were talking about kind of rubbing elbows with some big dogs and stuff, and
yeah,
that's
yeah. To me, it would be the biggest one in the industry. My icon would be Jeff Arnett, but I've rubbed elbows with Wes Henderson from Angels Envy. Of course, Michael Myers. He still is or was my boss there at 291. Just all kinds of great people. Here recently in the news, I can't pronounce her name or I forget it, but it's Jackie Zykan or Zyk. She's from Old Forester. She is actually leaving Old Forester, which is a brown forming company as well. She's going to start her own thing. So,
well, in that same vein, we just collaborated with Country Boy, who, far as I'm gonna get a little more here.
Yeah, no, go ahead. I hope we kill the bottle.
We just did that this past week, and for us, arguably that's why a Blonde Ale was our flagship. You know, we looked up to them. They're kind of the Kentucky big dogs, and collabing with them this past week was kind of like a full circle.
There you go, Chase. Lower left-hand corner. What'd I say earlier?
Vodka sucks.
Vodka sucks. That is Mr. Fred Minnick's tagline right there. Vodka sucks.
Well, I can't disagree with y'all.
Another guy right there, one with a tattoo. If you're a Heaven Hill fan, he's a true legend in the Heaven Hill world there. Mr. Bottled and Bond himself.
Come on, brother.
Bernie Lovers.
All right.
Yeah. He's definitely dedicated. He got that tattoo on him. And he's a singer too. He'll get out there and he'll sing a tune or two.
Out of all the Wellers, what would you prefer?
None of those right there with the color on them. The one, okay, so with my Instagram, if anybody's actually watching it as he scrolls, there's the blue Weller, the foolproof. If you go down two, there's a William LaRue Weller from the Buffalo Antique Collection, the Buffalo Trace Antique Collection. Out of any of them, that one. If you want to go with a colored label, the CYPB or the Craft Your Perfect Bourbon or Craft Your Perfect or Own Bourbon, whatever it acronym is for. But that is really hard to get a hold of, especially in our area. Bad distributors, allocation, secondary market. That should not have cost you $100 if you bought it at MSRP. But if you try to buy it now, it'll probably go close to $3,000.
Oh, wow. Shit.
Yeah.
That's the way it works.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I like Eagle Rare. That's a good one. I got that. My wife got
saw
that
that
for me on my
while ago,
birthday
there.
one year.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's another, the Eagle Rare 17 year, which is another BTAC. And that's probably a $3,000 to $4,000 bottle if you pay secondary market price.
What do you think of
I'm trying to
Pappy?
Pappy, if I'm going to go with any of them, honestly, the 12 year and the 15 year. So Lot B or the 15 year. The other ones are over oaked, in my opinion.
Like your 20 to 23?
Yeah, there's the age does not, to me, it does not benefit. Yes, you're paying for a nostalgic bottle because you're getting something with a high angel share and it was limited in bottling. But other than that, if you're going off taste.
That brew house. I see it. Sorry.
Yeah, no, continue. There's my off the menu burger.
There's your burger.
A lot of people don't know about that, I guess.
Yeah.
I kind of forgot about it until then. That's awesome.
The brew house is like the In and Out.
Yeah.
If you're
so there's
special enough, you get your own burger.
I don't know that the screen is in the video version of this.
I'm trying to like these as we go through. And
yeah,
we'll try to put them on the podcast.
I think they named that Gore's extra large filthy burger. So
there you go.
I commented on it 157 weeks ago. Awesome.
Love it. Love that circle. So there you go.
Brew house. We talk about the brew house a lot on here. That's how we know a lot of these people. It's how we all know each other.
Yeah. You guys mentioned running an LBL and stuff earlier. There's a few of the things that I did with.
That's right. You're a outdoorsman too.
Tough Mudders.
Tough Mudders.
Yeah. So
you made. I got a lamp. I got 2 lamps actually from you.
Upcycling bottles too.
I got one from the brew house growler, and I got a Jack Daniels.
Oh, that's who did those.
Yeah, there they are. Yeah.
I'm looking and see if I see the.
I remember you telling me about that.
Jack Daniels one.
Yeah, a little bit of recycling. Knives. Some of the photos that I took back. Yeah, there's a little bit of everything on my whiskey page, but the more you scroll through there, the more it kind of gets into when it wasn't only a whiskey page, and then there was that transition with
those railroad ties.
Don't know. That was what do they have up there in Illinois? The They do it every year.
Balls.
Shitty politicians.
No, the
Testicle festival.
encampment.
Oh, the encampment.
Yes. So.
Oh, sorry. I was just thinking
you had
Illinois.
some
Sorry.
skilled craftsmen.
Well, you see the one that's a wrench. So the others look like railroad ties.
I think they are.
Knives.
They may be. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Go to his Instagram. Check this out. Big whiskey _ between the words. Gotta have the
Yeah, you got to have the
Some
underscore.
poser is no underscore.
Yeah, that gets into the mountain biking down there in Georgia. That was when I was way out of my element. Oh yeah, I'm in shape and I can go ride a mountain bike. Shit, 25 miles out there in the Georgia mountains. I was.
Looks like good
Good
scenery.
Well, you got a nice bike.
Yeah, no, that wasn't mine. That was one of the guys that paid like $5,000. I think that's the difference between a $5,000 bike and a $250 bike.
I take a picture of that one too.
Yeah,
He's like, I might get one of these one day instead.
A proper outhouse. Thank God we got a proper outhouse up in here.
Yeah,
You did do a lot of outdoor stuff. So where all have you been doing Tough Mudders and outdoor stuff? And
pretty much every one of them that we did was in Missouri, Illinois, and Tennessee, I believe. I think they're going to do one in August, but I told them this year,
There was a lamp for them, Jack Daniels.
I said, I have not been doing anything to be in shape, so you guys can count me out. It's a no-go.
Was that a lamp or a Molotov cocktail?
That's
okay. It was before 2020.
No, that's that would be like your tiki torch stuff that's set out there on your table to keep your
Nice.
mosquitoes away.
I like the Woodford one.
Yeah.
The lamp.
Yeah.
Technically, according to chemistry, whiskey is a solution.
I think a bottle that would be good for the lamp
The
would be
Moon
the
Knight.
Kentucky Derby.
Well,
lamp.
no, it's Deadpool at the brew house.
Oh, yeah, it is.
oh, I forgot about that. I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah, that was
Splayed out like a snack.
How the hell did he get there?
pulling a little of the Photoshop skills into the works.
Yeah,
there.
if you're listening, you have got to go to his Instagram and just like follow along. It's like a read along.
Yeah, the Moon Knight comic. That motherfucker I got for like 50 cents. And I think it's worth like $75.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Now it is, yeah. Didn't have a show back then, huh?
No, I've always been a big Moon Knight fan. So, do you
like
Marvel
the show?
geeks out
I've not
there?
actually watched it yet.
Well,
I haven't either.
The comic back in the day was actually really dark. It's kind of Marvel's version of Batman. You get into all the dark stuff. And then, of course, the Deadpool there in the Marshall County colors. That was after our horrible incident that happened years ago. And that was just to kind of build morale and stuff for the kids.
Yep.
Chase.
Yeah.
As we approach the end, what do we need to... what kind of life lessons do we need to garner here?
Life lessons.
I think we should ask our guests.
I think we should ask our guests first.
I've asked you once, but now... So, I mean...
Give us some...
Chase hit on it pretty well a while ago. I mean, the world, it's a big place, but at the same time, it's a small place. So keep your circle of friends close and dear to you. That's all that matters. Stay true to yourself, your friends, your loved ones. Don't worry about anybody else. If that makes sense.
Oh, yeah. Well, we've talked about that several times.
Yeah. You want to move across? You got anything?
Well, I'm just curious, like us being beer guys, I'm just curious, like, where do you feel like the overlap hits? Because we've experienced a lot in the beer world when it comes to other breweries, traveling to the other side of the state, when it comes to like festivals and stuff, where we all kind of come together. Like, where do you think like overlap is on beer and the whiskey world?
I feel like that most people that drink beer that I've talked to have drank whiskey and bourbon and like it. I feel like it's the same crowd.
Yeah.
Most of the time. Don't you think?
Yeah.
But coming from you,
but I've never for example, I've never been to a distillery. So, I've been to as many breweries I've been to. I've never been to a distillery. I've rubbed elbows with brewers and never rubbed elbows with distillers. It's obviously there's a lot of overlap, very similar.
I'd say just overall the craft. If you genuinely love your beer, your spirit, whatever it may be, the craft itself, what all goes into it. If you really like it, it's a hobby or something that you have an interest in.
Mm-hmm.
One thing about whiskey is patience. You've got to have patience.
Patience with whiskey. Yeah.
Like it's not a 2-week turnaround 2 or 3 week like it is with beer. We're talking about 5 years.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you can do quicker. Like I said, we dabbled on the volume thing as far as aging, but if you want a good quality overall, I would say no less than 4 or 5. I mean, a lot of your bottling bonds are going to go off a certain standard, but that's because even back then, I mean, you're looking at your legends back in the day that set that standard for whiskey, 4 year, anything prior to that, you're a little green. Yeah. Not saying that you can't enjoy it, but you're a little green. I mean, people enjoy moonshine. Moonshine has no age, never hit oak. So if you like moonshine and you want something in between, but I'd say a good 4 year plus on average in a 53 gallon barrel is kind of the starting point. 23, you're for a bourbon, you're probably getting too oaky. Yeah. I mean, you're going for more of just like a rare nostalgic bottle when you get into like 23 to 30 year. It's just Scotch. Yeah, I think they have 50 years out there, but Scotch doesn't age the same way that whiskey does. So, or bourbon.
Worst case with beer, 8, 9, 10 months in a barrel.
Quicker turnaround.
Yeah, like that barrel. That's a child's play. That's cash. That's pocket change for a barrel. 8 months, 9 months. Money. Yeah.
Well,
what you got?
But what he was talking about earlier about how the barrel reacts, you can taste it tremendously in beer when you let it age for a year. It's crazy the difference. So, but besides that, I think everybody's hit on the good thing, and we've talked about it many times. Keep your circle small.
Yeah,
and don't care about what anybody else says.
Keep it tight.
Keep it tight.
If it ain't tight, it ain't right. I mean, keep your circle, pick your circle, and pick good people. Try to be a good person.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Definitely that.
Live wild and free.
Do you have anything to plug? You got brands, podcast, anything that you want to plug?
Anybody wants to follow my Instagram.
How can people support you?
Yeah, if they want to support
or
me,
your friends,
just follow and
write a check.
Whiskey. But if you want to, in the Marshall County area, buy more 291 and be more adventurous, it's fucking good, award-winning craft whiskey. Buy it. I don't care if it's an $80 to $120 price tag. It's worth it. But Jack Daniels 291, you just can't go wrong. A new one, kind of local, not too far from here. They source, but Blue Note. I mean, I can't imagine anybody that's a Kentucky whiskey or bourbon fan not liking Blue Note out of Tennessee.
Yeah.
So
awesome. I'd like to try that.
Instagram handle one more time.
Big_whiskey with an E, but you have to have that underscore too.
A lot of good stuff on there. This entire podcast, we were looking at it on the big screen, and whether or not that's in the video version, check it out. A lot of good stuff. If you listen to this, you'll see the stuff
just scroll with us.
Yeah,
just scroll. Yeah,
stare at his Instagram for an hour and a half and stay with us.
Yeah, that's it.
Thank you for coming on.
No, thanks for having me.
We appreciate it, Matt.
Yeah, we went through a little more than half the bottle now, guys. So.
Well, we might finish it after this.
Yeah.
You never know.
We got a DD.
Yeah.
We do have a DD.
Yeah, we got a DD.
Cheers to her.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah. So, thank you for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Chase, what's your final?
Oh, my
Come
final.
on, what's your final?
What's up?
My final is me and Matt's been friends for...
You're going to drink more Jack Daniels neat. That's what you're going to do.
I'm going to do it. We've been friends for a long time, and good friends go a long way.
Yeah.
I mean, they do. And
invite me back on. Maybe we'll do other things in the local area. Like you said, keep your circle tight. So we'll do something maybe with the round table events at Barrel and Bond.
Absolutely.
Get you guys tied down to Townsend, Tennessee. They're going to start with Company Distilling here.
Yeah.
They're going to start distilling beer. Or brewing beer.
Yeah.
There you go. We'll tie you guys together.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
Yep.
You got good friends.
Connections. Networking.
I always say good people find good people.
That's it.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, and we'll tie this together.
Mm-hmm.
He got to talking about how he got into this with COVID.
Mm-hmm.
You remember me and you got COVID from drinking whiskey.
We did. We did.
I didn't. And if I did, I cannot tell.
I don't know who gave it to who, but we were.
Yeah,
To be fair, that bottle lip should have been sterilized.
But you know where the issue lies with that? Just having this whole conversation is. If you're drinking Basil Hayden, that's why. You need to step your game up.
Oh yeah,
What were we drinking that night? No, it wasn't Basil that night.
Gotta have a certain proof to sterilize it.
It was
or one of y'all's got to quit fat lipping it.
It was actually Bullet Rye
Bullet Rye.
and regular Bullet.
Bullet. Yeah, we need to go. We need to go with the JD barrel proof rye with their single barrel.
There we go.
A little higher.
We're gonna go that way now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say this now at the end of the podcast. I've never drinking Jack Daniels before in my life. Boom, it's done. I'm now drinking it.
There you go.
It's
Hell
done.
yeah.
We're gonna sign out.
Pop
definitely.
his cherry.
Just sneak that in. So for the 5 of you who are still listening,
Yeah.
So, hey, it's been great.
Yeah.
We're gonna do it again.
Yeah.
Appreciate
Hopefully, we'll do it at Barrel Bond. We'll do it at the Brew House.
Somewhere,
we'll go
anywhere.
remote, and we'll
do
drink some
crazy
more.
shit.
Yeah. Definitely.
So live wild and free, and keep going, and don't give a shit what anybody thinks. And this is Life Chaser out.
Word.
Cheers.
it. Swag.
Cheers. Cheers.
I don't have any left.
No, that's your fault.
Drinking over.
Somebody's got to hold the ship together.
Is that it? Is that a wrap?
That's a wrap.
That's a new word.
He's been sending that in text lately.
Hey.